Hello, guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. Today we're going to be looking at the Dirk Diggler, the Diggler Dirk, the diggly Dirkliness of digging. This Diggler Dirk was named after, you guessed it, Dirk Diggler, the famous porn star or adult film actor. Dirk Diggler, I believe, has since passed on due to I think it was actually AIDS, believe it or not. I'm not 100% sure on that. According to the internet, he died of a drug overdose on July 17th, 1981. I don't want to say in his honor, but I have created my own version of the Dirk Diggler. This is Dirk Diggler, as you can see. And he's wielding himself a Diggler Dirk. The Diggler Dirk, not just Diggler Dirk, the Diggler Dirk. All right. Today we're going to go over the Diggler Dirk, and we're going to talk about the stats of this particular item, what it could potentially be good for, and the horrible jokes about this particular item as well. Because why not? So the Diggler Dirk is a interesting item that is rather low level. It does have a couple drawbacks, but for the most part, it's actually a surprisingly good item for level 11. Right off the bat, you'll notice that it's 4 to 13 damage, which is not bad for level 11. Could be a little bit higher, but it is a dagger, which means it does attack very fast. Get it? Attacks very fast. Dexterity is 25 requirement, which is also relatively low, and most characters can get 25 dexterity relatively easily. We also have a 30% increased attack speed on this, which means it goes even faster than a normal dagger does. We also have 50% enhanced damage, which is static. It stays 50% no matter what. We have ignores target's defense on this bad boy, which means that you don't need attack rating to hit most monsters. There are very few monsters in the game that ignores target's defense does not work on, and you can pretty much sum them up in one word: bosses. Ignores target's defense does not work on bosses. It will not, however, guarantee a hit, and this is the interesting thing about ignores target's defense, is that it actually just removes attack rating as a calculation within the formula. However, you still have to be the right level to be able to hit a target. Level difference is actually one of the main reasons why people will miss. If you're like a level 60 character and you're trying to attack a level 88 monster, there is a rather large level difference between the two of you, and because of this level difference, you will unfortunately not be able to dish out any damage to them because you will miss more often than not, even with things like ignores target's defense in the equation. We also have a bonus to dexterity, which is always very nice to have. It will increase your attack rating, a little bit of defense will be added, and you will also get a rather nice bonus to block chance. He's literally coming out of my arm. Look at this. He is just absolutely rambunctious today. We also have cold resist 25% and fire resist 25%. And in normal difficulty, 25% fire and 25% cold is actually a lot, considering that you actually start with a 0 instead of negative numbers like in Nightmare in Hell difficulty. And for its purpose, the Diggler Dirk is actually quite nice. Now, the Diggler Dirk can also be found in ethereal form, and the ethereal form has a slightly higher damage of 6 to 19 and requires only 15 dexterity instead of the 25 that the main item does. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, what could this potentially be good for, especially considering that it is a, very low damage item? Well, the answer to that question is that it is for characters who don't care about damage. If you are a Holy Freeze Paladin, a Holy Shock Paladin, a Holy Fire Paladin, if you are a Fire Claws Druid, if you are a Enchant Sorceress, if you are a... the options go on and on and on for quite some time. Because basically how it works is if you can apply damage in another form other than physical damage. If you don't necessarily have to rely on physical damage, then this actually works out very nicely to your advantage. Get it? To your advantage. What is he doing exactly today? This is the first time he's ever done this. I think he found out he could come out of my armhole, and now he's just like living in my armhole. Get over there. You can, of course, socket the Diggler Dirk, and you can add something else to make it even better. You could add a shale rune to make it even faster, so you can hit really, really nicely. Or you could go with maybe something that would increase the damage, or more resistances, or any other things. I don't know what he's doing right now at all. Why are you climbing through my microphone? What is wrong with you? Sir. You want to fight? We're going to fight today. You want to fight? We're going to fight. That's what I thought. He does not want to fight. So, the Diggler Dirk can be very useful to certain classes. Now, it does have some downsides. One of the biggest downsides of daggers, despite the fact that they are very, very fast weapons, is basically that the very, very fast weapons do tend to be... they do tend to be very short-ranged, and they also tend to be very low damage. So another downside, besides the low physical damage, is that the daggers tend to have a very, very tiny range and require you to get within, a closer distance than most other weapons. The Dirk has probably the lowest range out of all weapons in the game. I'm pretty sure it's, I don't want to say 0 range, because 0 is probably the wrong number. It's probably a 1 range item, whereas take something like the Berserker's Axe. The Berserker's Axe is one of the highest, or is the highest, ranged weapon in the one-handed category. So if you're using a one-handed weapon, Berserker's Axe, I believe, is +3, if I remember correctly. +3 is very nice. The Diggler Dirk, of course, is +0. It is base range. It is the lowest range possible. Now, this is not necessarily a huge issue for a lot of characters. I mean, most characters who are melee characters are going to be getting in there in the thick of it anyway. But it does cause a little bit of an issue when you are dealing with the monsters that constantly run away from you, and I have seen this happen. But in 2.4, they are actually introducing a patch where essentially monsters that are running away from you and slowly exiting your maximum range, you won't have too much of an issue with. There's always been a bug where literally the slowly walking away monster is unkillable, and they have actually changed it now, so the slowly walking away monster is not quite as unkillable as he was before. Now, we can upgrade the Diggler Dirk, and we can make it into a different item. Unfortunately, when you upgrade it, it would no longer be the Diggler Dirk. It's going to be something else. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade it anyway. So we've got the Diggler Dirk, and we're going to need a Ral rune, a Soul rune, and we're also going to need a Perfect Emerald. And let me move myself out of the way so you guys can get a good look at the stats on the Boogie Nights weapon. We have the Diggler Dirk is one-handed damage 4 to 13. Dexterity is 25, and level requirement is level 11. And it upgrades to the Diggler Rondell, which is 15 to 39 damage, 58 dexterity requirement, and strength 25 with a level requirement of 29. So quite a bump in level requirement from level 11 to level 29, and quite a bump in requirements from only requiring 25 dexterity and no strength to 58 dexterity and 25 strength. But the damage did go up quite nicely from 4 to 13 to 15 to 39, which actually could make it relatively useful. Now, you might be asking, well, if you're an elemental damage character, like a Holy Fire Paladin or an elemental damage sorceress or something, why do you specifically need physical damage? Well, having at least some physical damage means that your life and mana steal will be able to actually take effect. So you definitely do want to have your life and mana steal take effect in things like that. So having a little bit of extra damage can be useful in those scenarios. The ethereal version can also be upgraded, and let's see what happens when we upgrade the ethereal version to its higher level. So it's going to go from 6 to 19 damage, 15 dexterity, level 11, 22 to 58 damage, 48 dexterity, 15 strength, and level 29. And the damage on this one doesn't really matter too much, though, because unfortunately, since it is ethereal, you can't actually wield it without breaking it. One of the big downsides of this weapon has always been its rather low durability, which I think is a joke against Diggler Dirk, who was a, adult porn star, having low stamina or something like that, because, obviously durability could be translated to stamina and so forth and so on. There's a lot of innuendo in this particular weapon. And you can upgrade this one more time to its elite form, and to do that, we're going to need a Lum Rune, a Pull Rune, and a Perfect Emerald. This is going to upgrade from the Diggler Rondelle, which is 15 to 39, 58 Dexterity requirement at 25 Strength, level 29, to the Diggler Mithril Point, 55 to 79 damage, 98 Dexterity requirement, 55 Strength, and level 64, which is actually not too bad. We also have the Diggler Rondelle Ethereal version, which can also be upgraded via a Pull Rune, a Lum Rune, and a Perfect Emerald. And that is going to go from 22 to 58. 22 to 58. It's going to be 48 Dexterity, 15 Strength, level 29. Man, he is super active today. And it upgrades to the 82 to 118 damage, which is actually kind of nice. 88 Dexterity, 45 Strength, and level 64. Now, of course, if you were going to use the Diggler Mithril Point in its ethereal form, you would need to put a Zod Rune in it. And that would allow you to avoid the breakage. And now we have our ethereal Diggler Mithril Point Zodded. And let's go out and stab them for some things. Why not? We've got our maximum poison dagger, and we're going to go out and absolutely melt faces. Melt faces. Sir, can you calm down, please? As you can see, pretty much absolutely no problem murdering just about anything with this dagger. I would have a little bit of issue with bosses as far as attack rating is concerned, but for the most part, with the lower resistance, the relatively fast speed of the weapon, I definitely have no problem getting in there and hitting just about every target with my poison dagger. And I can cast my lower resist on multiple targets. It's like a hamster in a wheel. I mean, he is a rodent, but he's not a hamster. He's so much more intelligent than a hamster. But man, he's absolutely nuts today. I swear he treats my shirt like it's his own personal domain. Come on, Boogie Nights, let's boogie down! I hope y'all are amused at me fighting with my Chinchilla, because that's pretty much what's going on right now. He wants to go over there and mess with all my Transformers, and I don't want him to mess with my Transformers. And literally, we are just fighting over it. Like, he just keeps running toward it, and then he throws a temper tantrum for a little while. Right now, he's throwing a temper tantrum. And then, in a little while, he will decide that he wants to get back over there again, despite my my efforts to stop him. And, it's... No! No. No. Alright, so the last thing we're going to go over is we're going to talk about where you could potentially find your own Boogie Nights Dirk Diggler. So for that reason, we're going to go over to Silo's Pen, and we're going to take a look at the Dirk Diggler and figure out exactly where it could drop. So, bink, and bink, there we go. So let's assume that we are going to look for this as a high-level character, because we're probably not going to look for this as a low-level character. It's probably just going to drop. Let's put in 400% magic find. So we're going to be a very magic findy character trying to find ourselves our own personal Diggler Dirk, because we want to celebrate the Boogie Nights. And we have the Cow King in Secret Cow level in the Hell difficulty, has a 1 in 1093 chance of dropping you a Dirk Diggler. So it does definitely look like the Hell Cow King is our king as far as dropping us our own personal adult film star. And let's look at bosses as well. So we go to our bosses, and it does look like Hell and Dariel is the highest possible chance for a Dirk Diggler in 1 in 348. Not bad. Not really a lot of good options in normal difficulty, I'm noticing. Even with 400% magic find in normal difficulty, there's some not a lot of super good chances. I mean, Mephisto in normal, 1 in 214. Diablo, 1 in 234. Actually, okay, I'm wrong. You know, there is some good chances here. Let's take a look at super uniques in normal difficulty. Super uniques. The Cow King, pretty good chance. Bone Ash in normal. Bone Ash is really easy to farm. He is always in the cathedral by the main altar, and could certainly be a very easy farming target to get your own personal Dirk Diggler. And trying to see if there's any other really good choices here. Dark Elder and Beetle Burst are in Act 2, which could be good choices. They are in Lost City and Far Oasis, respectively. They're always in those areas. And Dark Elder tends to be by the Ancient Tunnels entrance, but not always. I mean, yeah, there's some pretty good choices. Honestly, I would probably just farm Bone Ash. Bone Ash is really easy to get to. You could literally farm him repeatedly over and over again. And not only is he easy to farm, he's also right next to the waypoint, and he's literally always in the same exact spot. So super duper predictable, super duper easy to farm. Not only that, but it's normal difficulty, so once you get to a certain level, most of the monsters there won't even pose a threat to you, so you pretty much just walk in, bop him on the head, and leave. As always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, even when it is about the Boogie Nights Dirk Diggler. And as always, thanks for watching, and keep watching.